Well, it's late February, well at least it's late, 22nd of February. We're still in lockdown, and I'm going to try and do a warranty job on this Royal Enfield Interceptor. If I turn the lights on, I'm not sure if the camera will pick this up, but just there and just there on the tacho you can see where the dial has been bent when it was assembled. Obviously they're assembled as a pair, and whoever did it didn't do a very good job, and as it's not perfect, of course I wanted it replaced. I first noticed it about this time last year. It took the whole winter really for the bend to discolour, and with the lockdown everything stopped. So to cut a long story short, the dealer had the tacho and speedo set, and I said, well, I'll fit it. It's it's just nothing. It's nothing of a job. And so as it's warmer today, I thought I'd have a go until the 15 minutes are up on this camera. So the first thing I've done is write down the mileage, and this bike has done 644.1 miles since I bought it in 2019, which isn't much really, what with the lockdown and everything and using other machines. So there we go. So we'll see what we can do. First, let's turn the headlamp off. No apologies for the mess in this building. It's because I'm lazy. So first thing, we need a spanner. These are the new set ready to go on. So first thing to do is to take it off the plate, because I don't need the plate. I can leave that in place. There's only 4 acorn nuts involved in this thing and 2 connectors. So I'm going to take the other one off. I'll take the new ones off the plate first. Have a look at it. Take the washers off. And it's rubber mounted, look, which is nice. It's nicely produced, that. And as you can see, it's in a one piece with 2 plugs. Now, my problem might be getting into the headlamp, because I've done other wiring in there. So let's pop that down safely. There is an added extra problem. Let me just turn a light on here. Get some light on the subject. There's this bracket which I made for my windscreen. I really like touring with windscreens, or a screen of some sort, or fairing. If you're cruising, well, for me 75 to 80, I like a screen to take the wind blast, and I put an extra bracket on, which is quite simply connected to the main screw where you take the headlamp off, because it used to vibrate a bit, so I popped that extra bracket on. So what we need to do now is just unscrew the piece that stops that coming off the front, which hopefully will come off easily. We need to put something on the mud guard to stop any scratching. Now that bracket pulls forward like so, because I put an open end on it for this very reason. So all we've got to do now is take the headlamp off. It should hopefully be quite straightforward, and it isn't, of course. Take it. There we go. And as I say, I've done extra wiring in here for these little eagle eye lights and one or two other things. So we need to investigate where the cable comes in. But first off, let's slacken off these acorn nuts. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. As it's rubber mounted, they don't have to be too tight. There's bound to be some washers falling on the floor in a minute, because they always do, don't they? It's been so cold in February that I've put this job off. And when I was in my younger days, nothing would stop me doing anything, but as you get older, you feel the cold more, and my hands get cold quickly these days. So instead of being sensible and doing it as soon as they arrived, which was in January, there's a washer down there, because they always fall on the floor. That's the 4 acorn nuts off. Okay, that's now free. Now we have to investigate where the connectors are, and that's a very tight fit. A little bit of extra space wouldn't have been a bad idea, actually. Which one is it? It's that one. Which is quite easy to find, and I assume it's that one. Why are they always different? Okay, that's those two. Now we've got the joy of trying to take them through the grommet in the headlamp. Incidentally, when I'm doing small jobs or even medium-sized jobs on the various machines, I like to use the toolkit that comes with it, and then if I have a snag, I can then add a spanner or something to the kit. You know, there's always something you need. Right, there's the offending cable. And the question is, how the hell do you get them out? I wonder if they put the grommet in afterwards, because that cable is not... Yeah, the cable is okay, but it's the plug that's not going in. I'll try and work it through. Well, I should think my 15 minutes are up nearly. But you get the gist of what's going on. It's a piece of cake, as I say. 4 acorn nuts, 2 connectors, and the usual faff of trying to get things out through a grommet. Yeah, that really is a bit on the tight side. Right. Well, it's pulling everything else out with it. What a joy. It's a bit tight packed in here, one has to say. But there we are. Right, let's take that out. Yeah, the worst part of this job is getting the connectors through the grommet. Okay, there it is. And there's the new set, which you'll notice is not bent in any way. What does that say? Oh, it just says it's tested. Pity the other one wasn't. Yeah, I must say that generally the finish on these Enfields is remarkably good for the money. I mean, when I look at the price of Triumphs, you know, I wonder what's going on sometimes. You know, they make these things abroad. You'd think we'd be able to get them at a reasonable price, but these are a really good value, I think, for the money. And since Ica took over Royal Enfield in India, they've been far better in every respect in terms of quality, because the old ones, the old single Enfields, the Bullets, when they first started sending those over, they were not good, because you know, obviously in India, different climate really, they don't have salt and all that kind of malarkey that we have to put up with. So they weren't wonderful, and there were lots of problems with chroming and various bits and pieces, switch quality, all sorts. And then Ica took them over, and the Bullets got really quite good for the money. And then they bought this one out, which was, in my opinion, tremendous value compared to some of the other machines out there, and it's got sensible speed. You know, it really will cruise easily at 75 to 80, which is really all you want for this kind of bike. So this is, you know, slightly unusual. They tell me at the dealership that this has never happened before. So, you know, I was, as usual, the unlucky one. And I had to wait for this particular bike because it was a chrome. And, you know, they didn't have any. The other one I like is the orange one, because it reminds me of the old Rickman Interceptor, which was the last Royal Enfield, which was available in orange and looked really nice in that colour, you know, with a Rickman frame. I think it was made in Bradford on Avon, not too, well, 30 miles away maybe. I reckon I'm going to have to turn off, if it hasn't turned off already, because I think I'm going to have to disconnect more and make a bit more room to get through this grommet. But you can see it's a piece of cake to do. There it is. It's all quite straightforward. Pop the headset on. I may as well pop the acorn nuts on and do the wiring up later. So let's pop the acorn nuts on, or at least a couple of them. There we go. Piece of cake, isn't it? When you think all the cables on older machines, you know, got old bikes at the back end, they all had proper Bowden cables and all sorts of stuff, proper cables that needed disconnecting and stuff, and this is all electric, so all electronic. So there you go. Right, that's two. It's obviously going to take me a little while to get the plugs through without making any undue strain on the wiring loom.